A little girl's call changed everything. "Daddy, it hurts." The millionaire fell to his knees when he saw this. The meeting room was buzzing with tension. Investors sat around the long glass table, watching the clock as Richard Hale, one of the most successful entrepreneurs in the city, presented his newest multi-million-dollar project. Every word he spoke was calculated, polished, and confident. To the world, Richard was the definition of success: power, wealth, and control. Yet behind that perfection was a truth he refused to face. He was a father in name only. Richard's wife had passed away 3 years earlier, leaving him alone with his 6-year-old daughter, Lily. At first, he promised himself he'd be both father and mother to her, but the demands of his company slowly swallowed his time and his heart. Meetings replaced bedtime stories. Emails replaced family dinners. He told himself he was working for her, to give her a better future, but Lily didn't need a mansion or toys. She needed him. That afternoon, as the boardroom filled with applause, Richard's phone began to buzz. He glanced at the screen. Lily. Normally, he would have silenced it and called her back later, but something, maybe instinct, maybe guilt, made him answer. "Hey, sweetheart," he said, keeping his voice low. "Daddy's in a meeting. Can I call you back?" A small, trembling voice whispered on the other end. "Daddy, it hurts." Everything inside Richard froze. "What? What hurts, baby?" he asked, standing up abruptly, his voice cracking. The entire room turned to look at him. All he could hear through the phone was muffled crying and a faint thud. "Lily? Talk to me. Where are you?" No answer. Just sobs. Then the call went dead. Panic tore through him like wildfire. Without a word to anyone, Richard sprinted out of the boardroom, ignoring the confused stares of his executives. His driver barely had time to start the car before Richard yelled, "Home! Now!" The 15-minute drive felt like an eternity. Every second echoed with the haunting sound of his daughter's cry. When he reached the house, the front door was open. His heart pounded as he ran inside, calling her name. "Lily! Lily, where are you?" There was no response. Only the distant hum of the television left on in the living room. Then he saw it. A small trail of blood on the marble floor leading toward the stairs. Richard's knees nearly gave out. He rushed upstairs, following the trail to her room. And there, on the floor beside her bed, lay Lily, pale, clutching her stomach, her tiny body trembling. A shattered glass of juice lay nearby. She had fallen, the shards cutting deep into her side. "Lily! Oh God!" Richard dropped to his knees, scooping her into his arms. "It's okay, Daddy's here. I'm here." His voice broke completely as tears blurred his vision. He pressed his hand over the wound to stop the bleeding, whispering over and over, "I'm sorry, baby, I'm so sorry." The ambulance arrived minutes later, though to Richard it felt like hours. He refused to let go of her hand the entire ride. At the hospital, doctors rushed Lily into emergency care. Richard sat in the hallway, his designer suit stained with his daughter's blood, his face buried in his hands. For the first time in years, the man who never lost control felt utterly powerless. While waiting, his mind raced through memories, all the moments he had missed. Her first recital, the birthday he'd forgotten, the nights she had fallen asleep waiting for him. Every one of them hit him like a knife. He realized then that success had cost him the one thing money could never buy: time with the person who loved him most. After what felt like forever, a doctor emerged. "She's stable," he said softly. It was deep, but she's a strong girl. She's asking for you. Richard didn't even wipe his tears. He rushed into the room, and there she was, small and fragile, hooked up to tubes but alive. When she saw him, she smiled weakly. "Daddy, did I make you leave your work?" That question shattered him completely. He sank to his knees beside her bed, holding her tiny hand against his chest. "Work doesn't matter, sweetheart. Nothing matters more than you." Lily blinked up at him. "Will you stay this time?" Richard nodded, his voice breaking. "I promise. From now on, Daddy's not going anywhere." That night changed everything. Richard canceled meetings, postponed projects, and for the first time, turned off his phone. He spent every day by Lily's side as she recovered, reading her stories, watching cartoons, and relearning how to be her father. His staff was shocked. The press speculated endlessly about his sudden disappearance from business. But Richard didn't care. He realized that he had spent years chasing the illusion of success while ignoring the one person who gave his life real meaning. Months later, when Lily was fully recovered, Richard returned to his company with a new mission. He implemented family-first policies, built a children's hospital in Lily's name, and began donating to single-parent support programs. His empire didn't shrink. It grew stronger, fueled by compassion instead of greed. One evening, as they watched the sunset from their garden, Lily asked softly, "Daddy, are you still a millionaire?" Richard smiled and lifted her onto his lap. "Yes, baby, but not because of money. Because I have you." She giggled, resting her head on his shoulder. "Then we're both rich." Richard hugged her tighter, tears glistening in his eyes. He knew she was right. Sparkle's inspiring message: success means nothing if you lose the people you love along the way. Sometimes it takes a single call, a cry for help, a moment of fear to remind us what truly matters. Wealth fades, power shifts, but love endures. The greatest fortune in life is being there for those who call you daddy.